Ahoy! Today's video is going to be about the Stellar Link system. That is a brand new feature that has recently made its way into Europe, and unfortunately it's something that's extremely difficult to understand just by reading the patch notes, so I hope to make your job easier with this video. First of all, the basics. What are the conditions to access it? Well, you likely already have it fulfilled. All you need is a character above level 50. The starting quest is at the craft NPC of Portlux, who will immediately send you to talk to the grocer and buy an item from it. After doing that, you can turn in the quest and you're good to go. To access the UI window, use the Cabal menu or the default shortcut Shift+O. It looks quite fancy, doesn't it? Now, before you can do anything, you need some materials. There are 2 materials required, but one is enough to start, so we'll talk about the other one later. Luminous Selena, or Selena for short from now on. You can get that from the craft NPC Chloe in Portlux. She won't do it for free though, but you can rest easy as it won't cost you any money. There are other ways to make a pretty lady satisfied. I'm talking about giving her 1,000 pieces of luminous fragments, of course, which you can obtain by extracting the items with any epic option. In other words, green, pink or purple armor pieces and weapons. The higher the grade, and the higher the epic option, the more fragments you get. Items with skill amp, critical rate or damage or maximum critical rate have greatly increased fragment yield. On a side note, this is very good news for new and low level players because high level rich players gladly buy those items for decent amounts of money. Anyway, so you get the Selenas from the NPC and then you can start worrying about figuring out what to do here. In the middle of the blank area, you can see some numbers from 1 to 5, each with an empty slot next to it. These slots are connected into lines. The higher the number, the longer the line. Each of those slots you can fill with awesome new options to make your character stronger. To add an option, click an empty slot, then in the bottom right corner, click the imprint button to use your Selenas for this. What this does is it adds a random option into that slot. The available options are different for each line, by the way, and you can see a full list in the patch notes, to which you can find a link in the video's description. So you get a random option with a random value between the minimum and the maximum. Additionally, it gets a random color too. The good news is you can try again and again as many times as you want using only the same materials. You won't have to spend force or anything of the sort, just the Selenas. If you match the color of every slot in the same line, then you will get a link. Think of it like a set bonus when you equip the same grade of armor on each body part. Each line has a fixed bonus, or 2 to be precise, so for example line 1 will always give you defense and normal damage up, and the color determines how powerful they are. Now desire, the leftmost color, I don't know, let's call it brown because the one next to it can be classified as orange. If you're a female player who distinguishes 127 colors between those two, please mute the video now. So brown, orange, red, blue and purple. You can call them by those names, but come on, who's gonna do that, honestly? So anyway, the brown one is considered the least powerful, with orange being better than red and so on. When you retry a slot, you can decide to spend more Selenas for better chances at higher colors. Indeed, if you use the maximum amount, you can't even get brown anymore. So that's the basics. To recap, extract outrageous items, exchange the materials for Selena at the craft NPC, select a slot to imprint a random option, then try again and again until you get good options with the correct color. That's it. But let's say you get a slot with plus 15 points of penetration, which is awesome. But it's got an ugly color you don't like. This is where the transformation part comes in. For this you're going to need the other material that I mentioned earlier. Luminous soles, or just soles for short. Don't think about the soles on your feet. I said don't. Anyway, you can obtain those from 2 sources. The bosses on open maps and the world rulers during the daily invasion. Both of those have a chance to drop these items for you to loot. And when you've got enough of them, you can transform the color of the selected slot into the one you like. So it doesn't sound so difficult now, I hope. One more thing to mention is that this system works individually for each character, so you won't gain benefits on other characters of the same account. Also, all the materials are character binding, so make sure you extract all the items with epic on your main one. And by the looks of it, this is something that you can slowly progress over the years without actually investing any money into it. So my advice is, don't rush it, just take it easy and start by filling all the slots, then focus on the links, that is the colors, to get some decent bonuses. One last thing, I'd like to say I'm probably just as new to this system as you are, so I hope I didn't leave anything important out. As usual, the comments are open for questions and feedback. Ahoy!